It got to the stage where I woke up one day and I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize the person that I saw. In my drive and passion is where my downfall started happening because I was so success driven and I was so driven about making this business such a success. What would happen was I was always training, I was always eating, I was a role model. But then, I want to make the business bigger, or we did renovations, or I started driving that. And what I would do was, I don't need to train today. Let me finish this project. You know what I mean? And I started sacrificing my training, my eating, and it started to get the better of me. It started to suck the life out of me. So this passion project of Revolution X and becoming, this amazing place that's going to change the fitness industry started to become a chore and started, I lost my passion for it because it was sucking the life out of me. And then I had a family. My relationship with my wife before I started getting burnt out and drained was amazing. You know what I mean? We were madly in love. We had our children, obviously, and the effects of the world, obviously having a child and not sleeping and working and all this sort of stuff started to compound, over the years. And my passion started to dwindle, And there was it got to the stage where I woke up one day and I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize the person that I saw because I wasn't training. I was overweight, I put on weight, my eating habits were terrible, my relationship had dwindled because I was always tired and just want to come home and sit on the couch and, on Netflix and the remote control, and, she'd ask to go out and I couldn't be bothered because I was too tired. So my life, started to sink and I found myself in a hole. A big turning point for me was I started feeling my heart palpitating every now and then, and I went to see a specialist and they said, you need to do something about your health. And I was like, what are you talking about? And, because I was overstressed, I was drinking 16 cups of coffee a day just to try to function because I was just so burnt out and in such a hole that he said if I didn't do something that, I was getting older, it could be, I could lose my life. That was one of the things. Another thing is another time when I walked into my house with my brother and my children were there and they ran to my brother before they ran to me. They didn't even realize that I was there. I was like I was invisible. And that actually literally took my heart and just threw on the floor and just crushed my heart. It's like, what's going on? Something had to change, you know what I mean? It was not the way to live. My relationship with my wife was not great. My children didn't know me. My business was starting to suffer. I was so present in my business, I just didn't want to be there. I thought I had so much things going on in my head and I actually wasn't productive at all and I actually didn't accomplish anything. I needed to make a permanent change because throughout the years, I'd, make change, would go up and down. It was like a yo-yo. I yo-yoed with my food, I yo-yoed with my training, and it just wasn't sustainable because like I said, I'd set myself a goal, I'd reach it and I'd go back to my old habits. So I drew the line in the sand. That was the first thing. I had to draw the line in the sand. And from all my experience of helping people every single day, I was myself suffering. So I needed to make a change. So the change that I made was I established on who the person that I wanted to be. Okay, what did the person look like? What did the person feel like? What were the habits of the person? And I needed to create and manifest myself into that person. And I'll never forget the first day I said to myself, okay, I used to recommend people get up early, do your meditation, train in your morning, set yourself up for success. And I wasn't doing it myself. So I said, that's it. As of tomorrow, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna set my alarm clock for 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna make that change. And I'll never forget because that was the biggest turning point in my life because next morning, I woke up, the alarm went off, and normally I'd hit the snooze button 3 or 4 times, but I didn't. I said to myself, would the man that I want to be hit that snooze button or would he get the fuck up right now? And you know what the answer to that was, get the fuck up right now. So I did, and I've never looked back. That was the key and the turning point. Till this day, I still remember clearly that conversation I had with myself. Normally I would start with high expectations. This time my expectations were very low and all I wanted to do was be better than I was yesterday. When I actually started focusing on my training again or just actually doing something, moving, it was a way for me to express my emotions. It was a way for me to dump my stress. And by me starting slowly this time, okay, it was just like, okay, I just started walking. Once a week I want to go for a walk. That was it. You know what I mean? And then the next week was twice a week, 3 times a week. And slowly I started building momentum and I had a place to dump my stress and I'd come home and I'd be happy. My whole spirit had lifted, you know what I mean? It was like, I've got somewhere to go for myself. I go there, I dump my stress and I keep moving. And then my training started compounding and after about 21 days it becomes a habit. Okay, so I've got back into the habit And then it was a matter of, okay, just me keep being consistent with my training. And the beautiful thing about training for me, it becomes an addiction. Okay, you look this good, you want to look that good. You feel that good, you want to feel that good. And it's one of those ways that, you know, you can start pushing your boundaries today. With nutrition, I didn't go on a crash diet. I wasn't worried about my body composition. I just wanted to make better choices. And then that started the ball rolling, because it wasn't about a result and then going back to my old habits. It was about being better than I was yesterday. And that's how I live my life now. What I do is I just focus on being better than I was yesterday, and that compounds over time, and that's brought me to where I am today. I'm in the best shape of my life. My mindset is fantastic. My relationship with my wife and my children is amazing. And I want to be able to give back. A big thing that motivates me is obviously, like I said, the things that were my breaking point, my family. You know, I'm so proud that my children look up to me and they're like, look, this is my dad. I took my kids to school the other day and I was wearing a singlet, and all the kids in their school were like pointing, and that's my dad. You know, I was like, it made me so proud. I was like, so they look to me in admiration, and that really drives me. My wife, our relationship's never been better. You know, we do things, and I've got so much energy and abundance of energy. I'm proud of her, she's proud of me. You know, I'm a role model to so many people. You're gonna have good times, you're gonna have bad times. It's how you recover from that, okay? It's gonna kick you down, it's gonna knock you, it's gonna beat you to the ground. But how you get up every single time and how quickly it takes you to get up is what matters. It's all about mindset. Everything is about mindset. So I'm in a great position at the moment where I've been consistent with my training, my nutrition, and I've been in the best shape of my life currently for probably the last 2.5 years. Now it's time for me to level up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a 20-week prep. So I wanna be able to feel and experience what it's like to do a 20-week level up in regards to preparation. So I want to get into the shape that if I walked onto a stage, I would win that competition. You know what I mean? I'm going to do a photo shoot also in the next 20 weeks, just before my 44th birthday. And I want some memories. I want to be in the best shape that I've ever been. I want to take my physique and my mindset to a whole nother level, and I want to take you with me. I want you to experience what it feels like, what I go through in regards to getting where I am now, which is in good shape, to absolutely amazing shape. And like I said, you don't have to do that, but I want you to understand what it actually takes to get there, the sacrifice that it takes. So stay tuned, because the best is yet to come. Let's do this.